did that in August. It was the best week of my life in a way, because it was just so beautiful. We had such a good time that we were very lucky with the weather. It all fell into place and it was such a joy to be involved with. I've always loved the Fleet and the history, and to be working in that space with such talented people, it was just the best thing. It was great.
I worked with Sarah Acton, who wrote the play, on Heart of Stone originally. It was her previous sort of big project before Caught in the Net, and obviously love her work. She's got kind of layers of time and the beautiful things that she pulls in from oral histories of the local area. And I'm from Portland as well, so for me it's a joy because it's sort of tying up two of my passions, my local area and obviously the creative side as well.
A message was put out on the Dorchester Community Place WhatsApp saying, hey, anyone available to do this? The night before, and I was like, well, I've got nothing else on this week. It's good fun. I enjoy acting, so I'm enjoying doing this. And my parents complain me less for hanging around the house all day, so bonus, I get out of the house.
They're here, come on.
Hold on, what about old George?
Oh.
He'd understand, and he ain't going anywhere. Come on.
Mackerel, fresh from the vessel. Mackerel, fresh from the sea.
I think it was the location that sold me last time. Actually being in that location, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
I wasn't going to be able to do the evening performance, but I went to several of the rehearsals at the Fleet. It actually got under my skin. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I thought this is not really anything I've known about. Doing it on site at the Fleet was brilliant. It was absolutely wonderful.
I started the rehearsals in August when we were down at Fleet. Sadly, I then damaged my back, so I wasn't able to take part in any of the rest of it, and I just watched with envy as everybody else was doing these wonderful things in the sunlight. It was fabulous.
I was born in North Dorset and I lived in Swanage for some years, so I knew this area a little bit anyway, but I didn't know about the seine fishing tradition on Chesil, so that was really interesting. And as I say, because I've got this sort of ancestral connection, I was really interested in it and was very keen to be involved, so that's how I ended up here. I spend a lot of my time traipsing around the country and playing in areas. I mean, I've done a lot of arrangements of Dorset folk music, for example, songs and tunes, but I'm normally not playing them in Dorset, so it's really nice to be doing local music in the local area.
Did you go and see the production at the Fleet?
I did. It was magical. To me, it just took me right back to my childhood. It was lovely. That was our playground, really. That area from Chickerell to Moonfleet was where we used to wander around, and as like a gang of kids, we used to just go off for a day, wander down to Moonfleet. We did get up to some naughty things, but there we are, now and again. But we got told off now and again. But yeah, so that was my sort of stomping ground, really.
I like that people are involved who might have never done theatre before. I like seeing their excitement and their joy when they realise that they can do it. And they're allowed to have a costume and they're allowed to go on stage, and you don't have to be trained as an actor, you can just take part. And I love that. It really, it's really joyful seeing people kind of awaken that creativity in themselves. So I love that. And the amount of effort is astounding.
And people work really hard.
Yeah, they dedicate all their time and so much effort.
Yeah.
It's
lovely, yeah.
Because they care about the story, I suppose, and that's why they took part, is because the story meant something to them and they want to tell it.
I was a bit nervous because I think this is sort of part 2 of this project, and I didn't do part 1, so it was all new to me completely. But I'm enjoying it.
Now the lead, pour in the mould, tuck it down, thread the mould. Now the lead, pour in the mould, tuck it down, thread it off.
And so coming here this week on Portland, which is a beautiful place, I'm and has its own extraordinary personality and character, and then being inside the theatre to make this piece so that it could go into other venues is a different experience. Personally, I'm missing the landscape, and I think it's interesting when we create something that's site responsive and then trying to put it in a place or locate it in a theatrical setting. I think there is a potential to lose some of the essence of what the piece is about.
I feel that the creative process is enhanced by this necessity of working rapidly without giving us too much time to think.
Which can only happen because there's a professional team, creative core team, whether it's director, movement director, choreographer, musical director. Those key roles are pivotal.
And I hadn't really known about the Great Storm of 1824 and the impact of that. So I found that really very interesting as a piece of local history.
About the houses, the boats. What about Butter Street and all of us?
Stop booming. Wave comes. Storm is here.
Because I work as a volunteer, I'm a trustee at Portland Museum, we've got bits of things that were part of the 1824 storm, and looking at where the sea is and where the church is and thinking how that must have been. And so many people died.
It brings people together, and there's a kind of shared experience there that you go through this process, and you're learning about your local history, and you're working through all these things, and it's a release for everybody, I think, to do that, and I just think it's a beautiful thing.
I think it will be interesting to see how different audiences react to what we're doing, because they might live in other areas of Dorset which aren't close to the sea and don't know about the fleet and don't know about seine fishing and don't know or haven't thought about mackerel in those terms.
I was asked to write all the music, and I've really enjoyed doing that and exploring some of the words that Sarah's produced. It's been great fun. I've set Thomas Hardy poetry and things like that before, but it's been really nice to set words from a more modern writer and turn it into a song which kind of sounds traditional but obviously isn't actually traditional. So that was an interesting challenge as well.
So I sometimes think, because we're dealing with different years, aren't we, here? And I wonder if they're going to think, that's a bit odd. How does that work? I don't know. Because we're not sat here, we're up there, you see.
My final thought would be around the value of doing R&D work. It's imperative, and so the thing around process and how we create work is not like that. It's a journey of learning for everybody, including audiences, and engaging audiences in that dialogue.
They did so brilliantly. They were absolutely amazing. I mean, 2 performances over 2 days after 3 days of rehearsing in 2 different spaces. They've just been phenomenal, really. Everyone's done so well. I'm really proud of them.
The performances were just amazing. It was really magical. You could just feel that magic in the air, really, with the song and the harp and the dancing and the fish, and everyone just being here and present and just really committed. It was fantastic.
And it was beautiful having the audience joining in, actually hearing them sit, learning the songs in the distance, and then giving their hearty voices to the songs that they knew were beautiful. It's lovely.
May a garland for Neptune bring health to our shores. May the golden fish bless us with mackerel in stores. We sing to the mackerel, may our blessings ring clear, and let them be safe to return every year. May a garland for Neptune bring health to our shores. May the golden fish bless us with mackerel in stores.
The time commitment that people have given.
Yeah.
Sarah D says thank you.
Thank you.
The time commitment that people have given has been amazing, hasn't it?
Extraordinary. We've did the site response on the Fleet for a week. We've had 3 days plus 2 days of shows here. We've got a production crew. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we have no idea.